All right. Welcome to another episode of Terrorisk. I think this is going to be episode 48. I'm pretty sure it's going to be episode 48. How y'all doing, everybody? How you doing tonight, Brendan?
I'm doing okay tonight. I lost my job.
Oh, yeah. Fill us in with that. You left your place of employment
Yeah.
because you just didn't like the guy.
Not that. I just wasn't flourishing. It wasn't gonna work out.
Right.
Too many things can go wrong. Plus, I can't work a job where I'm not getting taxed. I'm not gonna pay my own fucking tax. I just know it. I need a fucking union. I need like guarantees. I need health insurance and shit like that.
I feel that. All right. So, yeah, getting paid under a 1099.
I don't dig it. Plus, I already owe taxes to the IRS. Actually, I have a I was indicted recently, actually. So the IRS audited. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I was audited. So the IRS sent me a letter saying like I owe them a couple $1,000. So I don't know. I might go to federal prison.
Nah, you're not gonna. They're not gonna send you to prison. What they could do that'll be really fucking annoying is garnish your wages. That'll suck.
Yes, it would. They should just leave me alone. Just forget about it. Like, they can. Why? They can just like not.
Yeah, they could just like.
Did they go to work that week? No, I did. Why did they get it?
Well, fun fact. Little known fact that the IRS doesn't really want you to know is if your tax debt for that tax year is 10 years old, they have to like forget about it. It gets scrubbed. So if you just like, if you don't, like.
Yes, but what if they keep adding interest to it? Doesn't it kind of make it like that date, like the interest?
I actually don't know how the interest rates
because
stack up.
I worked for a bike messenger company. I didn't pay taxes. I should have given them a fake Social Security. I really should have. Because they were like, wink, wink, if you accidentally give us the wrong Social Security number, we can always work it out later. Like, pretty much telling me, like, we can just keep the money,
Yeah, you're a
and
dick.
I was like, I don't want to get in
that
trouble,
one.
so I gave them the right Social Security number, and then years later, they were like, you owe us a couple $1,000. And then every time, when I worked on the books, instead of giving my income tax check, they just chunked that out of the what I owed them, but then the interest would build again throughout the year, and I'd still owe the same amount almost or more.
Yeah, for sure. You totally dicked out on that one.
And now I owe like a couple $1,000 more from this job.
Yeah, but that's not going to be a big deal. Like I said, it's normal to be in debt. As fucked up as it sounds.
We're Americans.
Yeah, in America, it's normal to be in debt.
Yikes.
Also, it's all relative, like even like billion-dollar corporations are still fucking in debt too. They every megacorp has a balance.
Where's my
sheet.
fucking bailout?
Well, that's just for the banks. Corporations, I don't usually get bailouts, unless there may be like a fucking major
bailout. If you fuck up, you fuck up. That right? Isn't this a game of fucking musical chairs? Isn't this a big fucking contest? If you fucking lose, you fucking lose.
Well, certain companies,
you're winning so much that we're not going to let you lose. Like,
no,
that's kind of fucking stupid.
Certain private corporations and companies are so locked into the American economy, normalized even, that if it were to fall, it would destroy millions of lives.
Well, fucked up. We give them too much power. It's fucked up.
Exactly. That's precisely what it is. But some things just can't be avoided. There's certain things like an act of God. Something could just make a major airline stock just plummet.
I find it funny, instead of calling it a fucking natural occurrence, they call it an act of God. Like a volcano goes off, an act of God. It's like, why do you have to bring religion into this? The volcano went off and my store's gone. That's what happened. God didn't do that. It's a fucking there was a hurricane. That's not an act of God. It's a fucking hurricane.
Yeah, it's that classic lingo for you.
Christians just run everything. Oh.
Christians. Don't blame the Christians on everything. But yeah,
you're right, because in India they have the same.
I don't mind calling it an act of God. I think it sounds cooler than a natural occurrence.
God smited your fucking store, and we ain't paying you the insurance money. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. Well, God did it. We're not paying for that shit.
No, the thing is,
God obviously hates you.
no, the insurance company does pay for it, I think. Oh
I
wait, no,
remember
they don't. No, they don't pay for acts
Yeah,
of God.
I remember
Yeah,
there was a movie, an Indian movie, a Bollywood movie I watched. I liked it. My parents didn't, but they were the ones who put it on, called Oh My God. And it was about this guy who was really anti-religious in India, and he ran a shop, and he would like sell these statues, and the guy would be like, "Oh, how much for this one of Krishna or whatever?" And he'd be like, "Oh no, I can't sell you this one." And they'd be like, "No, I need this though. I'll give you double for it." It's like, I can't. This is a really special piece to me. It's really like special to my spirituality, and like eventually he get them to up the price until they find like, okay, just because, don't tell anyone, but I'll sell it to you because I know you're so dedicated. And he like they'd leave the store and be like, fucking chumps, you know. And he like didn't believe in this shit or Krishna or God. And then there was a hurricane and like or an earthquake, and only his store went down. And he tried to bring it up to the court, and he was like the insurance company said, we don't cover an act of God. And he's like, I don't fucking believe in God. This is bullshit. Like, I paid for the insurance, and you're not going to cover this. I lost everything. My whole family is going to be homeless now and poor. And it's a good movie because the movie is like he goes to all the religious fanatics and all like the priests, whatever they have in India, the gurus, and he's like, well, I can't sue God, but I can sue them. They're his representatives. So he goes against them, and then God moves into his apartment. You're not supposed to know he's God yet, so spoilers. I'm sorry. I ruined this Bollywood movie for you. Yes, there is dancing.
You know, there is if you think about God as like a conscious entity or a super conscious entity, you got to think like God, like at least a part of God is like a rapist, a pedophile, a murderer, a
God
racist.
is everything.
Yeah, exactly. Because God made
everything.
God made
He's
everything.
also a pedophile and a rapist. I'm sorry, you can't exclude things you don't like.
Yeah, exactly. So
you
there's-
just used everything. Sorry.
So I mean, God made them, right? God knew that they were going to happen. God is the Almighty. God knows all because God is the ultimate creator. So then, you know, you would.
In this movie, the guy who's, you know, he just looks like a regular guy, so he doesn't believe he's God, but he is Krishna.
Did you see Bruce Almighty?
Yes, of course.
So was it kind of like a Bruce Almighty kind of movie?
No, so he moves into his apartment, this God figure guy, and
Okay.
and he doesn't know he's God or anything, but he's like, well, you're going into this court case, you know, I'm a life coach, that's my job, I
Yeah.
can help you, and he's like, here's the Bhagavad Gita, and he gives him the Bhagavad Gita, and he uses the religious text to fight in court against the gurus and the priests, saying like, oh, you say this and this, but the book says this, so you're fucking wrong, you know. And it is a pretty good book. In the end, he reveals himself, and he's like, oh my God. And he goes to bow down to him when he reveals himself as Krishna, as God.
Yeah.
And he's like, to Christians, I'm Jesus. To you, Hindu, I'm Krishna. To Muslims, I'm Muhammad. I come as different things, but for you, I'm Krishna because you're Hindu. And he never believed in God, but he goes to bow down to him and like praise him, and God stops him from like getting on his knees and brings him up and he gives him a hug, and he's like, no, I'm your friend. And I'm like, that's fucking cool. That was good. That was a good movie, I think.
Did you laugh? Were there parts that were funny?
There were parts that were kind of funny. You had like that
Oh.
stereotypical gurus, one who was like, you know, priest, the one who was like super angry all the time. He pointed on the Bhagavad Gita, like anyone who is enlightened will not harbor any type of resentment or anger. You know, he like went through the Bhagavad Gita and like, no, it says this, or you're fucking up. You know, like kind of won the court case like that.
That's funny. So it's like, yeah, you know, it's thinking about just movies in foreign languages that just, like, it's interesting to me how, like, you know, those movies can make me laugh. I mean, all right, an easy example that I could point to for me is like a Korean movie, because, you know, I'm more or less fluent in Korean. So when I watch the movies, like, a lot of the humor will catch on. You know, whereas, like, I read the subtitles and I'm like, that doesn't exactly hit right, you know? But
Yeah, because you can't translate it fully.
it's not even just fully. It's just like,
It's a different way of thinking.
well, it's not just difference. Well, it could be something as simple as like in other languages, like, you know, their structure of a sentence is arranged differently. Like, you know, if I say a sentence to you like, oh, you know, Brendan is going to get the basketball, you know, and that just sounds normal to us the way we put it. But in another language, it could be like, oh yeah, the one who's going to get the basketball is
Yeah, or
Brendan.
the basketball that Brendan's going to get.
Yeah,
know, like,
exactly.
you
It's
know,
like so they'll rearrange shit like that, and like it just you know, some of the jokes just don't fucking hit right, and I'm sure that's like, you know, in a bunch of languages. So it's just interesting to me, like, you know, if a person's watching a movie with subtitles in a language they don't understand and it still manages to make them laugh, like what are the conditions for that to happen? I bet it's
Well, it's
usually
probably the same with like the fucking Bible. You know, like
I
we
mean-
have an English translation of something that was written in Aramaic. you know, it's definitely not the same.
Well, irony.
We don't understand the Bible even the way it was normally written.
Concepts like irony is you can always have a chuckle at that. You know, like if you read a whole epic like tragic comedy, it's an ironic tale. You could like kind of bitterly laugh at it. But otherwise, you know, there's slapstick comedy. You know, like where they're just doing like fucking goofy, like putting themselves.
That's
in
like the lowest though. It can be good.
Yeah, it can be good. Slapstick comedy can be fucking good. I think so.
Would you consider those YouTube videos of the kid who has like the bottle of lotion in bathroom stalls pretending to jizz on people's shoes while they're in the stalls slapstick? That was kind of funny.
It's kind of like prankster.
Okay, prankster's not slapstick. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, you know what?
It's a little bit of both. It's like almost like a pie in the face, but it's jizz on the shoe.
Did you? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Did you know that like one of the most like world's most popular comedians is Mr. Bean? Do you know Mr. Bean?
I don't like him. I don't think it's
You know
funny
what's
at all.
I thought so too, but I finally figured it out. The reason why he's so popular all around the world is because his comedy doesn't require English. It doesn't require words.
I see.
That's why he's so popular, because everybody can get what he's doing. You know?
It's not even good. It's that everyone gets it.
It's exactly. Everybody's in on the joke.
It's just not good though. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure if I had to watch Monty Python with subtitles, I would be fucking lost. But to me, as an English-speaking person, Monty Python is like one of the funniest fucking shows
like,
ever.
Let's admit, British comedy is a lot smarter than like any other kind of Western comedy.
Yeah, no, it wasn't before Monty Python though. Like Benny Hill wasn't that witty, I don't think. Like and Monty Python like changed. They were the first ones like to not use puns. They're like, we don't need a pun. We can just do something fucking abstract and silly and make it funny. Like it's like Tim and Eric wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for Monty Python back in the day.
Another thing
they started that kind of sketch comedy.
Another thing Monty Python will do that's like that I thought was really funny was like take things like really literally. Like they'll just be an offhand line, it'll be an idiom, but then like, you know, it's like, oh, I heard it's raining cats and dogs out there. It's like, oh, don't I know it? And then he goes outside and it's actually raining cats and dogs, and I'm like, okay.
I love the nonchalant way things happen. It's like, oh, I seem to have my leg blown off. So let my car back. You know, like this very like nonchalant way of like dealing with really intense topics.
Yeah, that's the juxtaposition of like, you know, a casual demeanor with a very
Python
serious.
is pure fucking genius to me. Oh God, I love it.
It's kind of dated though.
It's not. It gets better with age. Because, like, the more you're like, oh, my God, these people are so fucking woke. I remember watching a thing about John Cleese, like, ranting about how, like, oh, if you believe in this and this, you're on the left side of things. Oh, or you can believe this extreme if you believe the right side of things. Like, showing both bullshit extremes of both parties and shit like that. And idealisms. But, like, no, they were ahead of their time, and I think they still are ahead of their time.
Yeah, but they were still the good guys. You know, like, if you look at the ideological roots of a lot of their bits, they generally lean towards the good side. You know, like, you know who else did that?
You fell off the tall tower, you fairy. Like, they call people fairies. That's, like, pretty much saying faggot in English.
I know. But they still generally, like, agreed with, like, you know, the working men and stuff like that.
Well, the funny thing is, like, a couple of them were gay, too. So they still made funny, like, gay jokes, but at the same time... Like they had people in there.
Yeah, but they were still playing it safe because ultimately they were sending a good message in the end.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
I don't think so. They were shitting on everything.
Yeah, but like if you really look at like the core of the things that they would poke fun at, it would be like a lot of it would just be like stupid and unjust things. You know, like the whole office, the office humor bit. Like that was really pointing fingers at how like the man really does just crush like the little guy all the time. And you know who else did that? Whitest Kids You Know. That was another.
That's one of my favorite shows.
But they were also like the good guys. Like they did some fucked up jokes and they said some fucked up shit. But they were still ultimately like in the ideological
I believe all comedy
side
is the good guys. Most comedy is the good guys. They might say raunchy things, but in the long run, they are.
You know what? You're right.
Fighters.
You're right, but I'm trying to think.
They're the rebels.
I'm trying to think of like actual evil comedians, like comedians that are like, like there's some people that are just so like not even like morally. They have no ounce of moral fiber, but their shit is hilarious. Like,
but they're not good then.
No, they are good.
You could say like Dennis Leary, but Dennis Leary wasn't even. He played the role of a bad guy, but he was showing different facets of humanity, and so. In the end, he's kind of the good guy.
Yeah, you're right.
Like even him, which is supposed to be I'm a fucking asshole. I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I smoke 10,000 fucking cigarettes a day. I don't give a fuck. You know.
No, but that's really old.
We have the bombs.
That's really old school.
He was playing a caricature.
But that's
of
really
the American,
I know, but that's really old school. Cause a newer example is like Daniel Tosh. You know.
He's still the good guy. He's still doing a play.
Exactly.
They're all the comedian. I can't see a bad. there's some comedians that suck, and they're just trying to be edgy, and it's like not funny, but they don't last. The good comedians are the good guys. Bill Hicks.
You know who I think?
Bill Hicks says some fucking rapey, crazy shit, but he is the good guy.
You know who I think is the closest to like the evil comedian? Fucking Jerry Seinfeld. I think Jerry Seinfeld could actually.
He's just too innocent.
No. He's too privileged and sheltered, where he looks down on everybody that's actually in the shit, and then he gets to just look at it and say, "Hey, have you noticed that these poor people do that because they're so poor and not Jerry Seinfeld, like Jewish like me?"
Yeah,
you know,
I don't think I've ever actually watched a Jerry Seinfeld comedy, and I never probably will because why?
Well, here's the thing about Jerry Seinfeld,
and I love stand-up. Stand-up's my fucking thing.
Here's the thing about Seinfeld. Seinfeld is like, I heard. I mean, you're right. I didn't see all of his shit either, but I do know that like there'll be times where he'll do a set for like a normie crowd, and like, you know, if you got like the slightest bit of edgy sense of humor, you're gonna hate it. You're gonna be like, what the fuck is this horse shit? But then you'll see Jerry Seinfeld in front of a completely different, like at a comedy club or some shit, like with a bunch of boozed up people as a crowd, and then
he's out,
and then suddenly he's like goes crazy. So
he's only funny to really boring bland people.
No, what that means is he's really fucking talented. He knows how to work a crowd, like depending on the crowd. Like he knows what type of crowd to work with, and like knows what kind of comedy and what kind of set to go with. Like he's that good.
Okay, you see your demographic.
Yeah, he really is like a legend, and I know that I know he's a legend not because of like natural talent.
I wish Louis C.K. would come back.
I mean, well, he does have natural.
Well, he does.
talent.
You have to pay for it now. He's not going to be on Netflix again. That's what I'm worried about. Like,
Well, and also the thing about guys like
he's
Jerry
the funniest.
Seinfeld, actually, what I liked about him was that he fucking did the work. You know, he actually like did like open mics night after night after night, one after the other. Just get like he'll be bombing, he'll be killing it, then bombing it, then killing it. Like
and he made a show about it.
Well, I mean, that was
and then it worked. It worked for still to this day.
But what I'm saying is like that as an artist, he had the right idea. Like I got to do the fucking work, and he did do the fucking work. You know, like
yeah,
that's why I respect the shit out of him.
Yeah, me too.
But but if you look at him as a person, and like the things like, you know, he's not really joking about like really, I don't think, sticking it up to anyone, or he's not pointing out any unjust things really. He's just kind of pointing out like normal everyday things and the banality of it and stuff like that. But and also on top of that, like he also does evil shit in real life. So it's like, you know,
it must be hard to be a comedian and be neutral and get it right. You know, like you have to take a stance to be a comedian. You know, and like if you think about it. Are there a lot of right wing fucking comedians? I think most comedians are definitely not fucking right wing. Most comedians that make it are definitely not. Right wings aren't funny. They still think the fucking Minions fucking memes are a diss. Like they still think Minions are fucking funny. Like they're like inbred retards. I use the R word.
Yeah, so you're right. You know,
that was very non-PC of me.
No, you know what? You might be right about that. Like. Maybe Republicans
like,
aren't that funny.
Liberals or anything, but Democrat, the left sides, or the at least in the middle, or not left or right, are better comedians. Like Bill Hicks, you know, he was woke as fuck. Actually, I shouldn't use the word woke. They actually stole that from black people.
Yeah, whatever.
And just changed it and shit like that. We steal everything, even the word cool.
I don't know. I don't care. I mean, by definition, I've probably been woke before woke was even like a trending hashtag. I mean, what does it really take to be fucking woke?
Have you watched Bill Hicks?
No.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Bill Hicks is the best. Everyone watch Bill Hicks. He's dead now.
What does it take to really be woke? All you got to do is just have lived on the streets. If you've lived on the fucking streets for X amount of time, you're probably woke. It's just what it is. I mean,
as long as you're not completely privileged, you're probably woke. So, like, that means, like, how many people are so sheltered and privileged that, like...
A lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, they just don't know shit. They haven't experienced shit.
Well, it's more like they think they know shit because they experienced some shit.
But they like living off, you know, a trust fund kid, mom and daddy's credit card.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's actually, I mean, as a Staten Island teenager, you know, I saw a lot of that, you know, and I was in a group home at that time, but then I was like, actually, that was really what woke something up in me. When I was like 17, 18, you remember me back then, and I was like, I just fresh out of a group home. And even before I went in, like, I was still friends with like Mike and all of them.
Wait, what were you doing when you I remember you had a place, you lived by South Beach.
Yeah.
Highland Boulevard.
Yeah.
What was that?
South Beach?
Yeah, that was.
That was my last apartment.
But who did you live with when we were?
Oh, I
teenagers?
lived with. When we were teenagers.
Yeah. I mean, like, remember, like, there was Highland Boulevard. There was a coffee shop, and then you went down, and there was an apartment complex, and that's where you lived.
You mean the one off Father Capodanno on Sand Lane?
No, I mean off of Highland Boulevard by Old Town train station.
Oh, by Old Town. Yeah, that was my grandma's house.
Oh, okay. So you're living with your grandma.
Yeah.
That's when I knew you. So I don't remember seeing you when you lived at a group home. I remember meeting you there many times.
No, it's because when you first met me, I was like 14, and that's when I started like going out and meeting friends, and then that's when I was like 15. That's when I ended up going into the system, and I went through the whole group home ordeal, and I was still like coming out on weekends and shit, so I was still seeing like my friends in Staten Island. But then I only really got out at like 17 years old. Did I tell you what happened on my last weekend of the group home?
No.
Oh my god! So I got out. I was like, it was like the summer of my 17th year. I think I was about to turn 18, or something like that. And it was my last weekend visitation. So what by then, like, I would go home to my grandma's on the weekends, and then I would have to go back to the group home for the weekdays. So I would it was my last weekend visitation before I spent another 5 days, and then I would be free, like discharged. On my last weekend there, I was getting on the A train because their group home was in the Rockaways, like right off Rockaway Beach. And I was on the A train. It was summer. I think we were around like the 90s or the 110s or something, or the 100s or something like that. And I shit you not, like, it's literally what it sounds like. Like, me and a couple of other dudes who were also going home that weekend, we just witnessed a kid get stabbed the fuck up, literally to death, like everywhere. Like he got jumped by like a Dominican gang of fucking, at least like 4 or 5 kids
In the group home?
No, on the train. We were already on the train to go to our visitation. We left the group home.
chaperoned.
No, we weren't being chaperoned. We by then, like, if you're past the diagnostic phase, they just let you go, on the weekends.
And like just expect you to come back.
Check in. Yeah,
but why do
sign
you
in.
have to be in there? Why can't you just stay with your grandma?
Because I was going through like the whole reason why I was in the group home was because fucking child services was like on my case. Because the whole reason why I got them on my case in the first place was because my dad, he flipped out on me one day and he just beat the shit out of me so bad. I got like my eardrum perforated. And the reason why he beat me up is because I snuck out and visited Staten Island. I just wanted to see my friends. And then when I went back to his place, he found out that I went back and he just flipped out on me. He thought I was doing like coke and shit, and he beat me up. And then like the next day I went to school and I just like straight up ratted him out. Like I wanted to get this guy arrested because like I was mad at him, like I wasn't doing anything. I was just coming out to Staten Island to hang out. You know who my friends were.
Wait, so you lived where with your parents at first?
No, so all right. Before I lived with my grandma, I was also living in Staten Island with my aunt and my uncle. I've been bouncing around like house to house for like.
It was a long story.
It's just the way my life was, and so I got into some shit with my dad. Child services was on me, and by the time I got my dad the fuck away from me, and I got to go back to my grandma's in Staten Island, and I was just hanging with my friends. I was getting arrested for shit like graffiti, shoplifting. I was never going to school. And that's when child services was like, all right, clearly nobody can actually like take care of you. So you're going to have to be taken in as a ward of the state. You're going to be remanded, because there's no adult in your family that could actively like get you to control you and stuff like that. So yeah, it was basically like.
How'd you get out of the group home?
Well, I stayed there for like a few years until I turned 17, and I was like, listen, like, I'm not an idiot. Like, I go to school, I get good grades. Like, I'm able to hold down a job. I'm the only fucking Asian kid here. And I didn't say that, but they knew that. They were like, yo, everyone could look at me in there, and they were like, you don't fucking belong here. Everyone
Because you're Asian?
I mean, it's not like most of the other kids there were from like really fucked up situations. Like their dad was like a homicidal maniac in a gang from fucking the Bronx or some shit. Like I literally was like didn't belong there.
Like I had an episode. I'm older now. Let me like live life. I got this.
Yeah, so fucking they discharged me when I was 17, and because like by the time then, I already had someone who was willing to look after me, which is my grandma, and I only had one more year of being a minor at 17, so they let me go. And yeah, and so dude, the last weekend I saw the kid get stabbed to death, and holy shit, it was like that. It really changed me for the rest of my life. Like since then, I never forgot it.
I've seen a lot of crazy shit. I've never seen somebody get stabbed.
I watched this kid. Like, all right, so they stabbed him and they all left, and then he was just like stumbling out, like with like blood all over him. He gets out of the train. As soon as he steps on the platform, he just fucking stumbles, like just dead weight, like a sack of potatoes. And like I look out, I'm like leaning out of the train car doors, and the train stopped. Like there's like an alarm or whatever. And like the kid's like bleeding in some crying girl's arms, and I watched him go pale. And it took 20 minutes before paramedics showed up. Cops showed up before the paramedics did. And
I
yeah,
hate when that happens.
yeah, and I watched him die. I literally watched.
He bled out.
I watched him.
Nobody
go pale.
thought to stuff something in there. Stop the bleeding.
Dude, you got to see how many times he was stabbed. He was like here, 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 here.
Oh, okay.
And he was stabbed in the dick. Like he was.
Oh,
stabbed.
I thought you said he got stabbed once and he stumbled.
No, he was like, imagine like 4 or 5 dudes with knives. Like they gave him like the Julius Caesar.
Oh my
treatment.
god,
dude, it was crazy.
in the groin and everything.
Everywhere.
He didn't scream.
He could. It happened so fast. I mean, that was another thing. It happened very, very, very fast. Like I even remember the kid. Like he was standing by the train door with the headphones on. The girl, like he was some of his friends. The girl he was with was like sitting on the train car.
Oh my god,
And-
she's probably fucked for life.
Yeah. I don't know if it was his cousin or girlfriend or whatever.
It doesn't
Like,
even matter at that point.
Yeah, she was hysterical.
Oh my god.
She was like crying her eyes out, like
Yeah.
just like, and the kid was like literally, just, and he was like 17. He was a big like Puerto Rican kid or some shit, but he got fucked up and he just died. And yeah, that was like probably the most traumatic thing I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah, that would be the most traumatic thing I've seen. I've seen some shit. Fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, I mean, look. Luckily, another thing I learned while I was at the group home was I have a high IQ because apparently a part of the diagnostic phase is they give all the boys an IQ test, and I got one.
I got one. Mine was 149 once in like 4th grade or some shit.
I didn't know. He didn't even tell me the actual number. I was like, so did I do good? And he was like, yes, you did very, very good. I was like, okay. I didn't really care about the numbers, so I was like, whatever. But now I look back, I regret not like asking. I was like, I wish, like I wish I got the.
Yeah, those online ones aren't really accurate.
No, this was like officially.
I don't know how accurate their actual ones are anyway.
No, the way he
because it's not math questions.
Did you ever
it's not
take?
language
Did you ever
questions.
take an actual?
It
one?
really, yeah. It has nothing to do with education. It's really just
It's pattern recognition.
Yeah, it's how quick you can adapt your brain to something. It has nothing to do with what you know.
Yeah,
it's not trivia.
They'll like give
like
you
a math question. I'm sorry, it's fucking trivia. A language arts question, it's trivia because all you have to do is remember what they said to you. Any other test you take is trivia. As long as you can be dumb as fuck and remember shit pretty well. And not have a good mind to come up with shit. But you remember that they told you 5 + 5 is fucking 10, so
Yes,
you
yes,
repeat
yes.
it.
Okay, great.
You
You ever do the test, right, where it's like they'll give you a set of numbers, like it's seemingly random, like 34, 4, 36.
I remember
6,
doing this a
38.
long time
And then
ago.
and then they give you a blank, and it's like, what's the next number in this sequence? And then it's up to you to recognize the pattern, and they'll give you multiple choices. And that really is like what really does measure intelligence. Like it's pattern recognition, and it's important. It's because like if you think about like in nature. Like what really made us evolve is we were able to recognize the patterns of the seasons.
Yeah.
Of the patterns and like behavior of our prey, of our hunters,
Or other people that we can communicate.
Exactly. So that's why pattern recognition was a measure of intelligence because, I mean, that's like I wouldn't go so far as to say our reality is made up of patterns, but it's very, especially if you've done like shrooms, and like really became in that hypersensitive state. You literally see patterns manifesting in like geometric hallucinations.
Even every little atom has a pattern to it that makes it alive. Makes it a thing.
And if you go beyond, like our solar system is basically flowing in like this pattern.
It's all
like gravitational push and pull.
Geometric fucking equations.
So yeah, pattern recognition. That really is like the root. I think that's just the root of like technical intelligence. Like
see, I suck with memory and shit like that, but I was able to do a Q test fine.
Yeah, maybe. I'd say you're like, you have I want to know about like there's different forms of intelligence. I wouldn't know how mechanically intelligent you are, but I could say you're like probably very emotionally intelligent.
Yeah, I can read things pretty fucking easily, and I can also, I don't like to say I do, but like I can also fool people very easily.
Yeah, it's
especially at work
emotional
situations. I play dumb. Playing dumb is a smart thing.
Yeah, because you're trying to shoot because your goal.
Plus, when there's people who want to feel superior than you, let them think that they're smarter than you. Please trust me. If you have a boss, don't try to one up them. It's gonna create attention. You want to be like, oh yes, sir. Oh, I didn't think of that. Even though you're like fucking dumbass.
Well, the thing about emotional intelligence.
You can't be real. You can't be real in society in a lot of situations.
The reason why emotional intelligence is kind of like it's seen as a form of intelligence because it takes like planning ahead, right? Like let's say, first of all, it takes two aspects. So the first core element of emotional quote unquote intelligence is you have to always want a good outcome. In any social interaction, you're aiming for a good outcome. Yes, different people have different ideas of what a good outcome is, but the first step in having good emotional intelligence is to always want a good outcome in every situation. You don't want to leave a social interaction where people are feeling bad, right? That's step one. Then step two is how good are you at reacting to their emotional output, and how good are you
choosing how you should react,
and how good are you at taking that, processing it, and countering it with something, and how good are you at like guiding this into a very good outcome?
Yes,
that's really what emotional intelligence is about. It's because you also do kind of have to use like pattern recognition. It's like, oh, I recognize this behavior of agitation. That's why this guy is cursing me out, and he's my friend. So instead of like cursing him out back and like giving him the same treatment, let's try to find the core of it, because we all want to leave this feeling good, right? So let me ask, like, are you okay? Are you having a problem today, man? Like, what's up? Like, you're not usually this aggro. What's good with you? And like, that's really like, that's what I'm saying. It's like you recognize the pattern of agitation. Like you could recognize the pattern of that behavior, and you recognize the pattern of, oh shit, if I respond this way, bad things are going to happen.
I realized I adjust my sense of humor to who I'm hanging out with. So if I'm hanging out with you or JoJo or anyone, my sense of humor changes.
I think when you're hanging out, the
first thing I recognize with somebody, most thing I pick up on is when I'm hanging out with them, what makes them laugh.
I don't know.
What you think is funny and what JoJo thinks is funny is completely different. So I change my whole.
I don't know. Whenever you hang out with me, and I always feel like you're like a pussy with your sense of humor, because you'll make a joke and then you'll apologize. You're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say something racist."
You have I
shouldn't say that. Or he's like,
because you find a lot of fucking things that most people would find wrong. Funny,
Look,
so I have to adjust it a lot.
Name one thing.
Your humor is really dark.
It's not.
Like, super dark. But JoJo's is, too. Like, borderline racist, but not. Because we're not fucking racist. But like, funny.
Dude,
we'll make silly fucking jokes.
I'm not dark about my shit. The only thing is, I just feel like I think about things more than other people do when it comes to, like, what's
like, things like, I don't think shit jokes are funny. But when I hung out with Alex Salinger, he thought that was funny. So I developed... Like, do you understand? You ever get the feeling like when you hang out with people, you develop their sense of humor? Like, there might be some things you never found funny, and like just their laugh tells you how funny that is to them. So you actually take on their point of view of what is funny.
Nah, I don't really care about that. To me,
that's important to me. Sense of humor.
That's not really what's important to me. What's important to me is making people think about things in a way that they didn't think about thinking it, and then laughing about it because they're like, "That's actually ridiculous." Now that you put it that way,
study show.
And I like that. That's what I like. I like when I'm like, someone's looking at something like super serious, and I'm like, you could look at it this way. And they're like, "Oh shit, that's ridiculous! I can't believe you just fucking said that." And that's what I'm into because like that's really
I saw once online. It's probably bullshit. So I scroll through Facebook, but it said statistics show and like studies show that females, like males, are sexually attracted to females who laugh at their jokes. Females are sexually attracted to guys who make them laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that makes sense to me as a male because if I don't feel like I could say something and you think it's funny, I don't feel like we're on the same page. So like a long term, like I might think you're sexy, I might want to fuck you, but thinking about being with you, if things that I find funny aren't funny to you, this is not going to work in the long run. Because we're going to get old and ugly, and we're going to have that. That's what's going to be left over. It's our sense of humor together, you know?
That's a good point. Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that makes sense. And, you know, females pretend to laugh a lot of the time, and I don't think they should. Because you're making us think that you understood this sense of humor, even though you just wanted to fuck me. And you think I'm hot or whatever, you know, or a good partner. But I really want to know if you thought that was funny. Like, if a girl lied to me and said she thought Monty Python was funny, and then 20 years later, she's like, I never really liked it. I just wanted to get with you. I'd be pissed.
I don't know. Like, the whole thing about being funny now for me is thanks to, like, you know, new advents like social media. Like,
I'm just saying, I don't expect any girl to like Monty Python.
I'm just saying nowadays,
extravagant.
Nowadays it's less kind of like about like, oh, you think this movie is funny, I think this movie think is funny. Now it's like we'll just really just post our point of view on the internet, and then other girls will be like, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I think like for a good relationship, your sense of humor needs to be linked. You gotta find the same things funny, at least some of them.
That's really true. That's a good point. You know what?
That's more important than that's the thing that's going to last. Your body's not going to last. A lot of things aren't going to last. That's going to last.
You're right. Like when you're old and shit, all you can do is really make each other laugh at that point.
Yeah. So my aunt and uncle were when they were older. You know, my Uncle Billy and my Aunt Maureen, like, Uncle Billy just would say hilarious shit, and she'd just fucking laugh her ass off. They're like 60, 70 years old, and they're just, they still got that, if anything, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I think that's important. I can't be with somebody who doesn't have the same type of, at least a couple of things, sense of humor. I don't care how fucking beautiful they are to me or how attracted I am to them. I know in the long run, it's not going to work out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of rough for me because I don't think I'm a funny guy. I'm definitely not a funny guy.
No, you're funny.
I am not a funny guy.
I don't hang out with anyone that's not funny at least a little bit. Everyone's funny in their own way to me. Everyone has a difference, and I like that. That I can take different traits of humor from other people. When I was a kid, I didn't understand, like, you know, a lot of humor until I met certain people that were like, I'd watch something with, and they'd laugh, and I'm like, and I'd hear the laugh, like it's like the timing and the tone of the laugh is like a language in its way, where when I hear somebody laugh a certain way, I can get what's funny about that, where I didn't get it before. A certain thing might be said where it would just fly right by me, and they're like, oh God, and I'm like, oh shit, I get it, and I can get certain, and it's like I can pick up a different like level of humor from every single person I meet, and I like that. I find this funny because JoJo would have found it funny. I find this funny because Ivan would have found it funny.
So sometimes I would get into a position where I would hang out with like certain people too long, where my sense of humor would get like really fucked. And like I'd be talking to like, say, like the Discord boys for too long, and then like I'd be sitting in my car thinking it's just completely normal, like screaming out slurs like, am I the last fucking New York City? And I realize like what I just said. I look out the window and people are like staring at me like, oh shit. And then I'm like just driving away, like, am I the last fucking I don't know why, but it's just like, you know, it's like you just, because like, first of all, you're used to reading these jokes on the internet, you know, on the chat.
Well, that was a problem. I was with my brother and his partner in the car.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
I was absorbing your sense of humor. 'Cause that didn't, listen, buddy, that didn't come from JoJo. That didn't come from anyone else but you.
Oh my God.
And I just went, and I just fucking said the N-word, right, with the A at least.
So the story goes,
and I was fucking drunk as shit.
So the story goes, it was me, Brendan.
But it was only because I was in your car, man. Definitely.
It was me, Brendan.
And I forgot they existed.
Brendan's younger brother.
I forgot they were back there.
And Brendan's younger brother's partner, romantic partner. And I was driving the three of them home from a show from Manhattan.
And they are not white.
Well, we were all fucked up. And yeah, one of the people's in the car, Brendan's brother's partner, wasn't white. So then, like, Brendan just in his drunken stupor, like he's sitting in the.
I was blacked out. I came to because I heard myself say the word, and I and I looked behind me, and like I looked at Ivan, and I looked behind me, and there's my brother and them, and I'm like, oh fuck, And I'm like, I didn't realize you guys were here in the car with us. They're like, you walked with us to the car. I'm like, I've been blacked out. And and I didn't realize. And
yeah, so he just like we were in the battery tunnel.
That's not.
I was going pretty fast,
and
then he just says the N-word like really loudly. He just says it. He's like perked up. Like first he's like passed out, now no, he just goes.
That's how it happened.
Yeah. And he just said it, and then I was like, all right, cool. No. I was just like I just turned to you. I was like, right on, man. And then all of a sudden you were freaking out. You were like, oh shit, I didn't know you guys were here. And I was like, yeah, you.
Oh shit. Everyone in this car isn't cool right now. I thought we were all cool now. Now I said something and I regret the fuck out of this. I was so afraid the next morning because I didn't remember shit, but I remembered that. That like stuck. I'm like I woke up and like I said that. Holy shit.
Yeah, but no one cared. That's what I was trying to tell you when you told me the story. Like it wasn't until after the next day.
There's probably some, I don't know.
It wasn't until the next day when you told me you were so worried about it. I was like, Jesus, Brendan, it's not that big of a deal. Like, yo, black people use this word. It's okay. Like, it's okay to slip up. Yeah, it's called a Freudian slip, man. Like,
but it was also like it must have been crazy. Like the shame is because he's never heard me say that like that.
Are you serious? Are you fucking kidding me?
He must have a lot of shit, but I never really used that word. Even when it was like, when I was in high school and like. That whole like weird shit was going on.
No, you never called it.
Like, I remember this one. Like, I remember I walked up to this white kid, and he was like, he would say shit all the time. I'm like, dude, why are you saying this? You're white. You shouldn't be. And he's like, I'm an Oreo, yo. Yeah. We were in fucking high school, in junior high school. But he's like, I'm an Oreo. I'm like, this whole weird thing is going on now. Fucking. I thought it was fucking stupid as shit. I'm like, know your fucking role, kind of. Like stop, man. Like, let people have their thing, and you have your fucking thing.
Well, what if that's his thing? Let him have his little white boy thing.
He's a white boy trying to like. And what does that mean? Like, I'm black on the inside. Like, what does that mean? Your ancestors went through hundreds of years of fucking slavery and beatings. Like, no,
it's like
you're a white boy.
Imagine someone took an invisible giant.
You're again stealing the fucking culture. Like you do every fucking time.
Imagine someone
this is just like stealing rock and roll.
Imagine someone took a big giant invisible needle, filled it with.
Stay in your fucking place.
Oh my god!
Sorry,
you always do that. Like you just keep repeating the same thing
in different ways. Yes. Sorry.
It's all good. I completely forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Nah, it's all good.
No, I just got pissed off with those kids. Like I liked rap and shit, but I didn't act like I didn't try to whatever they call acting black. Like that didn't make sense to me.
It's like taking
it was fucking stupid.
It's like taking a big invisible needle and filling it with like hip hop, like Biggie Smalls, fried chicken and watermelon, and just injecting a white boy.
Just be
all of that.
Yeah,
culture.
But just be white and appreciate it. But don't try to be something you're not. Like you didn't grow up in the fucking hood.
Okay, so but then how do you quote unquote appreciate it if not to just
listen to it? It's fucking music. I could go and listen to fucking Wu-Tang tonight and just be myself and still be myself. I don't have to be like
I don't know
and talk like that and shit.
But the music is literally like be real, motherfucker. Speak your heart. Do your shit. Be a fucking thug.
You're speaking someone else's heart.
But
though.
that's what the music is. But it's not that they're saying that's their experience. They're literally speaking for.
I can say okay, rap is for everyone, hip hop's for everyone.
No,
it started off black.
I'm
sorry, man.
Do you hear these fucking songs? They're like, yo, if you go and tell a cop your friend's business, you're a fucking bitch. No, it's teaching. These rap songs aren't just songs.
Yeah,
they're instructional videos. They're instructional videos on how to be a thug, Brendan.
Yeah, but that means okay. I remember.
Did you hear 10 Crack Commandments?
Did I tell the story?
Did you not know the song 10 Crack Commandments?
Listen, did I tell the story about the white intern when I was a bike messenger that walked in? So I'm waiting for a package there, right? And I'm sitting, sometimes you have to wait. You can charge them waiting time after 15 minutes. But I'm sitting there. Listen. So the receptionist at this big company downtown Manhattan is a black woman. And this white woman intern comes in all preppy looking, has to I'm picking this up for Claire's. And she's like, okay. And for some reason they have a conversation. And within this conversation, I hear the white girl take the garment bag and go, and if you don't know, now you know. And I'm like, and everything went in slow motion. I'm like, no. And I look over to the black woman's face in slow motion. She's like,
And if you
And I'm
don't
like,
know, now
and I'm
you
thinking, I'm like, she's like, you don't know, now you know. And she's like, yeah.
Did she
just
say it?
walks out like this stupid white girl, like trying to like relate, kind of bullshit, like preppy white girl, and I'm like, and I look over at the receptionist. I'm like, still waiting for my package. Like I work for them. I see them like every day at least. And I'm like, oh my god, man, that would have been so awkward for both of us. And she like laughed. She was like, I really thought she was about to say some shit, and like. Like I realize, like by default, you have to say some shit, and then I'm here, the other white dude who's like, not a part of this. Sorry for stupid fucking blonde white bitches, but I'm just here to do my job, you know. But it was such a weird.
Do you know Kendrick? Do you know the rapper Kendrick Lamar?
I've heard the name.
So how do you feel about the situation? So he was throwing a concert, right? And then like he brings a fan up on stage, a white girl, to like and he hands her a mic, so she's like rapping with him. And the part of the song with the N-word comes up, and she raps it. Suddenly he takes the mic from her. He's like, nah, you can't say the N-word. Don't you think that's fucked up? Like, isn't that fucked up for him to do? He must have known that was exactly gonna play. Like, that's fucked up, dude. Is that not a fucked up thing to do to a fan of all things?
Well, I guess in the heat of the moment, that might not be wrong. If you, I don't know, I'm not fucking black.
But look what he did. Look what he did. Like, that's fucked up.
You should have let them know ahead of time. Like, hey,
exactly.
Don't do this.
That's fucked up, man.
You know, pick something else. Say something else.
No, but he did
don't,
it for
like,
that
give
song.
them the heads up. Like, yeah, go ahead, and then at the end, like.
He handed her a fucking microphone, bro.
While you're live, yeah, you shouldn't do that.
At a concert.
You should let them know ahead of time. You just set them up.
Exactly.
This is cool. Go ahead. And then, like, I'm going to fuck you up in front of all these people.
Is that fucked up, dude?
Kind of, yes.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
He said do this. And then.
She did it.
At the end. Yeah. She was like, are you sure? Yeah, man. I don't know how it really played out, so I don't know the whole story. But
yeah, I'll show you the video. It's on video. It's on the internet. How fucked up is it? That's the most embarrassing thing.
Yeah, it was a setup.
That's fucked up, dude.
Yeah, stupid.
You can't do that to someone. Like, that's an innocent bystander. You're a fan, dude. They paid money to go see you only for you to, like, get you.
No, don't worry. It's going to be so progressive. You know? It's going to change the world.
And it did at her
said it.
At her expense. Like,
yeah. Yeah. Just like, I'm going to ruin this bitch's career just because I'm being a dick. That's fucked up.
And she wasn't even an artist or anything. She was just a regular person in the crowd. He was like, he just picks a white girl. He's like, you know the lyrics to the song? She's like,
that is fucked up. Really?
Yeah.
I was thinking it was another singer or celebrity.
No, dude. Random.
That's fucked up. Why you just ruined this bitch's night. She paid tickets.
That's what
money. She paid to see your show, and you ruined her life. You just destroyed a fan. She's probably killed herself. She's probably dead.
Is that fucked up, dude?
That's fucked up.
That's what I'm saying. That is a fucked up.
Now that I know the story, that is fucked up. I don't know who this guy is. Fuck him.
It's Kendrick Lamar. He's like a superstar, man.
Fuck him. That's fucked up.
It is.
Why'd you do that? She paid to see you.
Oh my god.
She's obviously not fucking racist. She fucking wants to go see your fucking show.
She paid money to see it.
And you made her say that she like.
She knows the words to your song.
I guess he's okay with this. I'm gonna sing it like it said.
You know what I think happened?
I'm not gonna change the word.
You know what I think happened? I think
fucked up.
You know what I think happened?
Girl.
I think Kendrick Lamar.
Poor white girl.
I think
that was sad.
I think Kendrick. This is my theory. Kendrick Lamar could feel free to fucking disprove me on this.
What I think at white people, don't do it through an innocent teenage white girl.
That's exactly what he did. I think what he did, right? He must have played a bunch of festivals with a bunch of white kids and a bunch of shows many, many times, and he must have just gotten tired, like singing the words to his song, and then the white kids are singing the N-word back. He must have just did that to just to kind of like get back at it. It's exactly like you said.
Yeah, but
like
you're telling your. That's really conflicting because you're like, okay, these are fans of mine. Does that mean you don't want white fans? Because like
and then the words to your song, right?
I don't really like a lot of these songs. I haven't had to say the N-word in a song. And all the rap I like is fucking like Run DMC, fucking Slick Rick, LL Cool J. I'm not really into any new rap, so I don't hear the N-word in rap that I actually have liked in my life.
Yeah.
I'll listen to fucking rappers fucking delight or listen to fucking
you like that woke shit, okay? But you don't like that ignorant shit.
It's not no. I like Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang is not ignorant.
It's not. It's the most fucking
rugged.
I fucking love Wu-Tang. But like I used to like Eminem. I think Eminem's good actually. So, fuck it.
All right. So then, what's the deal? Like, what's the dealio? Like, I mean, it's like it's a fucked up situation, right? As an artist, like as a
So do
rapper,
you want them to listen, and do you want the white people that listen to you
to not sing
change
it?
to not do it,
to say
They just
ninja
can't.
or something?
So they
instead,
have
like,
to love your music
and
but
just not say that
it's
word.
like me listening to a Beatles song, but it's like, oh, that word's not for me. I can't.
Well,
say
you know,
that
John
word.
Lennon wrote the song like "Woman."
But
is
can't
the...
you say like? It must be hard. I don't really like this shit, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But if I did, my thought process would be like, why can't I be like in solidarity, like with you? Like I'm not black, but can I say it like as like I'm with you? Yeah, they fucking said this shit. You know, like this is like what needs to be fucking said. Why can't I be in solidarity with you? I listen to a lot of different music with a lot of different
Maybe
cultures.
that's it. But you never know.
I enjoy a
honestly,
lot. You know, I can listen to an Italian fucking Renaissance fucking like protest song, and like I'm not fucking Italian.
The thing is,
but I'm like, fuck yeah, guys, fuck yeah. Like,
it's because
like shit like that.
it's because people's feelings about shit aren't static. Maybe at first that's how he felt. He's like, yeah, the white boys are down, you know, and singing the song. And then after a while, like show after show after show, he must have got tired of it, you know, like just a crowd of drunk, nasty white boys just saying like the N-word over because the chorus had it.
You
know?
think that was it?
I mean, it could be. I don't know if that's what it is. But
Well, a lot of your fans are probably like, you know, as any
like
musician.
ignorant ass
Yeah,
motherfuckers, you know? Like,
yeah. Like there's only a couple who get it. You know, there's like most of them are just shitty fucking.
exactly.
Cunts.
Just
Especially if
trying
you're
to get
the more
fucked up,
popular
yeah.
and famous you are,
You just
the
dealing
more
with more
shitty
peop-
fans you have.
the more people who don't really give a shit
If you're
about
a cult
you.
fucking local band, most of your fans are probably cool because they're really like they're friends.
They're into your
They're into your
message,
shit.
yeah.
But if you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
like the world likes you,
Yeah.
you have, you know, a huge percentage are just fucking dumbasses. Like if you're U2,
Yeah.
you think most of those people at that show don't really listen to you that much. They just like, oh, it's U2. They're not into you.
Honestly,
like if you
fuck
go to a Tool
fuck
show,
U2,
most
though.
of those
I don't
people
like
like,
U2.
I am obsessed with Tool. If you go to a U2 show, it's like, I like that one song that was on that video, and I got tickets. You know, it's not a real fucking fan. That's not a fucking fan. That's just somebody who went to your show because you're famous.
Yeah. So all in all, you disagree with Kendrick Lamar's move, right?
I disagree with that. Yeah, it sounds like, from what I've heard, sounds like set this bitch up, and it was kind of fucked up.
Yes. If I was that bitch, I would sue.
She can't, but she probably will never be the same. Maybe she still listens.
I guarantee
I
she's
don't
never
know.
listening to Kendrick Lamar ever
Maybe.
again.
I'm like, maybe she's still like, you can't just not like music. If you like it, you fucking like it. I don't care. Even if you're racist, you like it.
That would be like if
think about back in the day.
that would be like if
how
the-
many white people were going to these like, you know, black musicians. I've seen a lot. Look at a lot of old shows, blues, rock and roll, and shit, and you see a lot of like black musicians with an all-white crowd because it's the only one who can afford to go to it or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, they're just like sitting down. They're like trying to like. It's like watching like for them. It's like a circus. Like watching something new. Like, oh, these people are making this new music, and we're like intrigued by it. You know, like but we're rich, and we can afford to go to this shit. And I watch
what are you talking about?
like watching a Desmond Decker show or watching like, you know,
You know, it's funny you say that. You know, in the earliest days of like
Little Richard or something, you have videos where the whole crowd is just like white men and women, just like,
well, you
and
know,
they're like rocking their asses off.
Yo, let
And
me
these
tell
white
you-
people
let
are
me
like,
ask you
wow,
something.
This is new. I've never seen this.
let me ask you
before."
something. In the earliest days of like of like trippy
like
rock,
in like jazz and blues, the crowd was fucking white.
I'm talking about
time.
imagine like late 60s and early 70s. You know, like the people at like Woodstock and shit, and all those people part of that movement, like going to all the shows.
Well, that was mixed.
and
though.
carrying on like
that was like the first.
Listen, just let me ask you something. Do you really think those white kids were like rugged street kids? No, most of those white kids were fucking like rich ass, privileged, upper middle class, fucking douchey, fucking preppy, like hipster.
Yeah, but things were
fucking
also
douches,
way
dude.
easier then. Like even if you weren't rich, you could easily get a part-time job, get an apartment with fucking 4 other people, and make it easily, and barely have to work and eat sunflower seeds. Like it wasn't rent wasn't high like it is now, man. It was a little bit fucking different.
Fuck
so
them,
yeah,
man.
whether you were a trust
They
fund
ruined
kid,
it for us, okay? They fucking ruined it by being useless sacks of shit.
Well, they thought they were going to change the fucking world. Their parents are fucking racist.
How do you change the world? How do you change the world being a bunch of smelly dirtbags? Like, fuck you, man.
Because they're doing the opposite of their parents.
That's not how it works. You don't win by doing the opposite of your enemy. You do better.
Yeah,
than
but
your
they
enemy.
saw all their alcoholic, fucking stressed out, corporation-y, fucking capitalist, racist parents,
Fucking
and they were like,
bullshit.
let's mix our cultures together. Let's make music with black and white people in the same band. These were the first bands that had white and black members in it in the 60s. That didn't happen before. You had a black jazz band, black blues band, and you had a white rock and roll band who stole their shit. You know, it was a conglomeration. All these people were taking acid and like realizing shit. They were breaking free of their fucking. It really did. Acid and fucking psychedelics definitely fucking changed the world, and probably in a good way.
I still trip. Do you still trip?
I haven't tripped in a long time because I'm afraid.
You're being pussy.
I should trip because I am afraid.
You're so pussy.
The reason I should trip is
You're the one that
because
got
I'm
me
afraid,
into it. That's why I'm
actually.
calling you a pussy because you got me into like psychedelics and
Yes,
shit.
I got it, but see, I know I have a lot of gook and ego pent up,
Yeah.
and
It's gonna
If I-
destroy.
I-
It's gonna kick
it's
your
gonna
ass.
hurt to-
It's your own
there's
fault.
so much that the process, dude. I'm gonna take like 2 or 3 hours before I get to a good part of this trip.
It's so
the
funny.
first 3 hours, I'm going to feel like I'm gonna die.
Oh, it's so hilarious. I don't even feel bad for you, dude. You deserve it.
I do.
Yeah.
The shrooms will do what needs to be done.
It's not gonna
And
be that
I'm
bad, though.
afraid of them.
It's not gonna be that bad. It's not gonna be as bad as you think it is. It's gonna be necessary. It's gonna be fine.
Maybe if I'm humble enough, but the problem with shrooms is like you think like, okay, this is horrible. Oh, if I humble myself and accept it, it'll go away. Oh, but if I'm trying to accept it for it to go away, I'm not actually accepting that this might be eternity. And so you have to get to the point where you're like, I'm okay with this monstrosity going on inside of me being eternity. Like you have to like completely not, you have to not accept it because you're, when you accept it.
You have to accept it because you're helpless to do otherwise.
Yes. Yeah, you have to be backed into a fucking corner.
Yeah.
It's horrible, man.
You know what's funny? I don't even really need that as much.
sorry.
I don't need that as much these days. You know what I have now? I have martial arts. I have a teacher that kicks my fucking ass. Just when I think like, oh, I'm getting good, and then it's like, all right, let's fight for old time, spar for old time's sake. And I'm like, okay, and then he kicks my fucking ass and it makes me feel like shit, like really bad, like every time. And I'm like, god damn, I'm like a baby. And that's good. That's good to have in your
I
life,
definitely
right?
need that psychedelic experience. I don't know the place and setting. As I get older,
Do it with me.
I get worried. I'm like, how did I survive?
You do know you have to do it with
but
me,
I
right?
remember when I was a kid.
There's no better
I'm a
person in your
diabetic.
life. There's no better person in your life to trip with than me.
I
know that.
But listen, I've been a diabetic.
I just want you to acknowledge that.
I do.
Okay.
But I've been a diabetic for 14 years. Like, no, not 14. Since I was 14. More than 15 years of diabetes. Now, like, I passed out once before, almost died. How did I survive going out, just walking alone through the woods to the beach, tripping on an eighth of mushrooms with diabetes, with no plan? How did I survive all these times? Tripping on Molly and ecstasy and shit with diabetes. And nowadays, I'm like,
Because you were young.
I just didn't care and I just made it somehow. And I didn't have an accident. I got lucky.
I think also
That's what happened.
I think your genes are also making you age really fast. I think when you're 20 compared to when you're 30 is very, very different compared to me when I was 20 and to 30. Like I think everyone like develops at a different cellular rate.
Yeah, but how did I didn't check my blood sugar enough, but for some reason it worked out.
Dude, think about it. Like,
How did I not die and have a medical
yo,
issue?
do you remember when we first met when I was 17 or like 15, 16? I don't really look that different, do I? Compared to you, dude, you look very fucking different.
I don't feel like I look that different.
I'll show you old pictures of me, and like people have told me, it's like, dude, you still generally look the fucking same.
But you're also Asian.
I'm slowly starting to develop the wrinkles,
Asian. I'm sorry. You're Korean. You age fucking slow.
and that's what I said.
You do.
Genetics. It's genetics.
It is.
It's genetics, and that's
White
what I'm
people
saying.
fucking deteriorate, man. I wish it wasn't so. I'm not even trying to be like racist or woke. It just seems to be
Or
that way.
unwoke.
It just like black don't crack. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't. Like it might not be completely true. Like whole big cock thing. It's not completely true, but certain things are true. Like genetics are a fucking thing. White people look older quicker. You know, they might not live less longer depending on their health, but they do. They look older quicker. We age differently. Everyone ages differently. That's not a fucking issue. I hate when people take like stereotypes and it's like, oh, it's like a racist. There's certain things that are just reality, and it's not, you know, racist. It's just like, yeah, this is how it works, and just accept everyone. It's like when I play Skyrim. There's Argonians, there's Khajiit, there's high elves, there's dark elves. Everyone has to, and they have racial traits. When you pick your character, there are racial fucking traits.
Okay, so when it comes to Skyrim, and you have to apply like different races to the races in Skyrim, which race do you think is which? Like white people are obviously the.
Right now I'm playing a red guard, which
you're getting better at podcasting. You knew to talk into the mic, like you knew to pick up the mic.
Thank you.
I noticed your progress.
And I stopped my ADHD meds too.
Nice.
I'm just trying to. They fucked me up, but yeah, no, like I'm playing a red guard now, which is a darker pigment, a human race. It's pretty. They're black.
I bet spiritually.
Red guards are black.
I bet,
but they're really good at warrior kind of skills.
I bet spiritually
and I'm good at
like
enchanting and smithing, so I can make my weapons really powerful, and I can enchant them with like, this does fucking 50 fire damage when I hit them.
And then it's like OP.
This armor increases my health by 100
it's also
points.
OP.
This ring increases my stamina by 100 points, and I can enchant the shit out of my weapons. So I can just go in there and just like, bah, fuck you.
Yeah. So it's funny. Fucking like I bet spiritually you feel like
Before that, I played a high elf.
Oh.
Which I don't like high elves because they're the most racist in the whole.
Well, I was going to say spiritually you feel like a black guy. Like I feel like if you were born a black guy.
No, the red guards just happen to be black.
I feel like if you yourself were born a black guy, you would still talk the same.
Yeah, if you played the game, guys, if you know the Elder Scrolls, they come from Hammerfell. Hammerfell's next to Elsewhere, which is like desert land.
I don't even like the
Their
Elder
pigments
Scrolls.
it has nothing to do with anything. They're pigments like that because they're born in a desert land.
That's cool.
You know, and you're playing in Skyrim.
Yeah.
So I'm in a northern Nordic land.
Yeah,
where most people are white. Yeah, well, white's tall, kind of like you can play. I've never played as Nord, actually. I never wanted to play as Nord.
They're Vikings, pretty much.
And like, when I was younger, I used to like, if the character doesn't look like me, I can't play him.
Yeah.
And like as I got older, I'm like, I'm playing a fucking game. I want to be a thing, you know? Like, does a Khajiit look like me? No, it's a fucking cat.
I like playing as
It's a bipedal cat.
I like playing as females. Do you ever play as females?
Actually, that's the one thing I don't do.
Why?
Because
I think
I have a really high sex drive, so. And
wow,
you're
just gonna be jerking off constantly.
You play in third person most of the time.
You can't help yourself. You're gonna be.
It's just you're looking at this ass the whole time. And the whole time you're trying to play, and you're like, "Ooh, that ass though, man. I'm fucking fine."
You just can't control yourself. You're just like,
yeah, so I can't. It's distracting. I need to be a dude at least. And plus, when there's romantic things in the game, I like to be a dude.
That's so funny.
But like when I play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like I'm not gay. I wish I could be, but I'm not. I'm not into it. Like I wish I have tried many times. I've done gay things just to try to be gay, and I wasn't. I'm just like I don't feel this. I'm sorry, you know. But I wish I could be.
You ever play?
When I play Assassin's Creed
did you play Assassin's Creed Odyssey? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right. So did you play the mission?
I always do the gay option.
Did you play the mission where I think you could fuck like a whole family or something, or fuck?
Oh no, there's the mission. You
fuck a dude, then fuck his mom.
Guy's in the cage, and he does fucking. It's his step parents. You don't know that, and he goes and he finds this thing. You end up. My conclusion, my story was I fought his dad, killed him.
Oh,
and
you
then
could fuck his dad too.
No. I fought his mom and killed her, and then I fucked his dad, and I went back, and then they revealed they're like those two caretakers were just step parents.
Oh, you fucked both of his parents pretty much.
Yeah. But like even the guy who was like fun, you know, they had goats in the room, and you had to find the oil.
Yeah.
And like I had to do that.
That was
Come
stupid.
on.
That was some stupid game.
I know.
That was some stupid
but I like that game because it can get serious, and then just like you'll be playing a little shit face, and like it's just the silliest. Like you're playing a comedy right now. It's funny. I think that was great.
That was a funny mission. That really
they
was.
had a bunch of funny missions. It was very comedic, and I think that's good because like think about it, like the comedy came from Greek plays.
Yeah.
And like, you see that in there. Like,
Oh yeah,
comedy.
yeah. You're absolutely. No,
So, like,
okay.
they had to make the game comedic.
That makes so much sense. You're absolutely
It
right.
wasn't a good Assassin's Creed game.
But it was a good it was a
Yes.
good game on its
Yeah.
own. Yeah.
Assassin's Creed strayed from, like, the new one's probably gonna bring it back, but I really liked, Ezio, the original. I liked it. It was a different way of gaming. Anyone can make a open world RPG. You have Skyrim, The Witcher, now the new.
Yo, the
Assassin's
Japanese one's gonna be fucking crazy
But
good.
I need it to be Assassin-y.
No, so
It
the
can't
Japanese
be
one.
open world RPG.
So the
I want it
Japanese
to
one
be a story.
Yeah, there's
of
two
mainline
there's
fucking
two,
strict
There's
story.
two characters, right? One's a samurai and one's a ninja. So you get to like.
It goes into sequence 5. You have a mission. If you get caught, it desynchronizes.
Oh,
There's no options.
No, I like the open world shit. Listen,
I
no,
don't.
we let the cat out of the bag with that one. There's no way. There's no going back with that. Like,
No, they actually with the new one, it's going to be original Assassin's Creed with Basim.
all right.
So at the end of Valhalla, you are pretty much what's his name? Who's the
Desmond.
no? This one's been dead since 3.
Rip.
You are Basim is pretty much an incarnation of what's his name? What's Thor? There's Thor. There's who's the trickster?
Loki.
Loki. Loki. You're Loki pretty much. Basim is Loki in the end. So
That's pretty cool.
You're reincarnated, and then the precursor race, all those gods were real, but they manifest themselves inside of your bodies, and so Eivor is what's his name? What's the one-eyed one?
I have no idea. I didn't play like
The
Odyssey or.
the Nordic.
No, I mean I didn't play Origin. I didn't play the Valhalla. Yo, all right. Could you tell me something about this?
Okay.
What's the deal with your penis?
What's the deal with my penis?
Yeah. What's the deal? Are we gonna get it up and running again?
Yes, we are.
So, how what's the?
So I'm a diabetic. My blood vessels get broken over time. I've been diabetic for many years, a lot of years,
And a lot of jerking off probably didn't help your blood.
more than
vessels
half
either.
my life at this point.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of sex and jerked off a bunch. Yes, you got to use it or you lose it.
Yes.
You got to inflate that shit. Even if you don't like to do it, you got to inflate every once in a while so the blood vessels get, you have to do it.
Yep. Yes.
But yeah, my shit got fucked up. I diabetes. I did a lot of drugs. I did a lot of shit. But diabetes. One out of half diabetics get this problem anyway. So whatever. I was diagnosed when I was 14. I'm 33 right now. I'm about to be 34 in May. So I finally got the insurance and saw a urologist, and so Viagra didn't work on me. My blood vessels are a little bit fucked up. I just can't get all the way there, like you should. So I'm going to go in on the 12th, and he's going to put a needle in my dick, and it's going to, make the blood rush and the blood vessels, and he's going to make me have a boner with this needle. And then he's going to put my cock in a little machine where I'm going to get a sonogram of my dick.
Oh my god, this is
While it's fully erect.
I can't
or
believe this is
hopefully
reality
erect.
right now.
And he's going to determine whether I need an operation or not, or I can just use the shots. So the shots, you just inject it into your dick, and it gives you a boner for an hour or so.
So what if all this doesn't work?
So then I get a surgery, which would be an implant. Now there are rigid implants, which sound very horrible, to where there's couple rods in your dick to where it's permanently erect, but you can crack it down or and snap it into place like a fucking Lego or something, and just ready to go. But this one's the better one. It would be the saline bag. So there's saline bags in your dick. So I guess they slice your dick open, put little bags in your dick that inflate. So you have this is how it works. It's real. Look it up on YouTube. It's actually not I thought it would cost more. Insurance that covers it.
That's good.
I think. I hope. If not, you're gonna fund me.
Hells yeah.
But then you have a pump in your ball sack, and yes, it does sometimes make a squeaky noise, and I find that hilarious. Like, it's not like I wish I can like choose an option to where it's like the chicken, where like, you know, but no, it's just like, you know, it's a little pump, and it inflates your dick with the saline bags in the inside, and then when you want to like release it, you just release the valve, and there's another little.
Hells yeah.
Inflates.
You gotta go to the bathroom.
Deflates.
You gotta go to the bathroom for that.
No, you just and it's whenever you want to. You could like, look, dude, if the bitch is like, I want to keep fucking you, like I'm fucking tired. You can probably be like, okay, just like deflate it like after you're done, just like, and just go to fucking sleep, and let her just do whatever she wants, ride that shit, and like hopefully she's responsible enough to like at the end like. Because it can damage your, you know, muscle if it's, you know.
And they're not cheap.
Yeah.
You can't replace that shit.
Yeah, you know, so like, deflate it after you're done. But do whatever you want, man. Just fucking get that shit up there and just fucking, whatever you got to do. I'm taking a nap.
Yeah.
But that'd be cool. I even told the dude, I'm like, dude, that sounds awesome. That sounds like better than having a regular dick.
It's cyberpunk.
Like, I've never had that much control over my dick in my life. You mean I could just, like, I could prematurely come and just, like, wipe it off, like, and just numb fuck? And just get the job done? It'll never go down unless I press that button. That's fucking amazing. That's every woman's dream. Come on. I hope that the shots don't work. So they give me the fucking implants instead. Imagine how fun that would be during foreplay. Like, you want to pump it? Yeah. And she just pumps it for you.
Jesus
she just gets it to where she wants it to be. That's fucking amazing. Who wouldn't want to do that?
Jesus fucking Christ.
If I could pump a little thing on someone, like how wet do you want me to be? Yeah. It's just,
do you want a number 7 or a number 8?
yeah, like adjust to your likings.
Do you want an 8 pumper?
So you can adjust
Or do you want
put it in,
or do you want just a 5
then,
pumper?
Like, readjust it. Maybe it's a little too tight, you know.
Well, that's a 6 pumper tonight.
We're gonna go to 8 tonight. You know, it's like this is amazing.
Or it's like in the middle of it.
I
She's
want
like,
a
"Oh,
bionic
please just
cock.
go to 10. Go
Who
to 10."
would
And she's
want a
like,
bionic cock?
yeah, a bionic cock controlled by your brain.
I don't know what. If I get that shit though, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna do something crazy? I'm gonna go crazy.
You should connect with people who have this.
I'm just gonna go out and get wasted and just like fuck the shit out of everything. I'm gonna be a psychopath.
High five to that, man. Anyway, with that,
No,
I think,
probably not.
I think
But it would be cool.
We're at our time though, and this is a good episode. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.